Okay. Okay, so today we start off with the Chumash of the day. Today is Friday, it's Chodesh, the 30th day of Shvat. We're holding on the sixth part of the sixth aliyah of the portion of Yisro. So we continue in the chapter 23, verse number 20. Hine sheleach malach vanecha. Behold, I'm sending an angel before you. Lishmarcha, to guard you baderech in your journey, Olaviacha, to bring you alamakim asher chinoisi, and to bring you to the place that I have prepared, which means to the land of Israel. So Rashi says over here, they were informed that they were destined to sin, and the Shechina would say to them, "For I will not ascend in your midst." So he knew this was already a prophecy. God knew, as God knows everything, that the Jewish people will sin, and ultimately the Jewish people wander for 40 years in the desert, and as we know, God was not with them for hadn't have a revelation, was with them, but was not revealed to them for many, many years. Asher Chenoisi, to give to you, this is a simple meaning. It's a midrashic interpretation that I have prepared. My place is already recognizable opposite it. This is one of the verses that states that the heavenly temple is directly opposite the earthly temple. So right now, as we know, that there's a Beis Hamikdash Lamaila, there's a Beis Hamikdash above, and this Beis Hamikdash above is ready to come down into the world, because there was always two Beis Hamikdash, one above and one below. Verse 21. Yisham Elecha mipanav. Be careful from him. Ushma b'koiloi, and listen to his voice. Al tasame boy, do not rebel against him. Ki lo yisel b'shechem. Ki shmi b'kirba, he will not forgive your transgressions, because my name is within him. So Rashi says he's not accustomed to forgiving. He's an angel. He has only one purpose. He doesn't have any agenda. He has what God tells him to do. He cannot negotiate with an angel, for he's in the group that does not sin. And moreover, he's a messenger, and he can only do his mission. So you cannot ask him to change. You cannot ask him to divert. You are stuck with him. Kishmi b'kirbai. In connection with the beginning of the verse, beware of him, because my name is associated with him. Our sage whoever said that the angel Metatron, whose name is like the name of his master, is a numerical value of 314. Metatron equals the name Shaddai, Shin Dalad Yud. So that's the Shmei B'Kirbai is Shin Dalad Yud. That's one of the reasons why we put on the mezuzah Shin Dalid Yud. That God, this angel that's named Metatron, that has the name Shin Dalid Yud in him, is watching above us. Verse 22. Kim Shamayah Tishmu B'Kailai, for if you hearken to his voice, and you will do whatever I say. And I will hate your enemies. And I will harass your adversaries. Verse 23. For my angel will go before you. He'll bring you to the Amorites, to the Hittites and to Perizzites, and to the Canaanites, and to the Hivites and the Jebusites, and you will destroy them. Verse 24. Most important thing, do not bow down to their gods. Don't worship the gods of these nations. Don't do as what they do. Shall tear down. We shall tear down and shatter their monuments, their idols. So Rashi says that Matzei Vaisam is the stones that they erected upon which they prostrate themselves before them. Verse 25. You shall worship your Lord, your God, and he will bless your food, and your drink. Vasiroisi machla mikibecha, and I will remove illness from your midst. And that ends the Chumash of the day. And now we go to the Tanya of today.
That really was short. Wow.
That was short.
But
So,
powerful.
Baruch Hashem. Alter Rebbe continues the Tanya, holding chapter 29. And Alter Rebbe is continuing. A person needs to take time to think about his Avedis. This is his sins. So a person should not get too much bothered by his machshavas zaras that don't let him, by his evil thoughts that tell him that he's a sinner. And even in the times of davening, he should tell the soul, he should tell his Yetzer Hara, he should tell us that it's right, and therefore I need to make time to really do tshuva and to repent for my sins. But everything has its time. So a person needs to sit down and think about why is it possible for him to sin? Is because he has a nefesh habahamis. He's not a tzaddik. He's not a righteous person, and he has an animalistic soul. And the animalistic soul has become part of him. It became him. Zeh Adam, as the Alter Rebbe uses, became him. And he is animalistic, and therefore he has tendencies, evil tendencies, and evil desires. And that's who he is. It's very sad, but that's who he is. The Eibishter made him that way, and therefore God gave him the challenge. And when God doesn't give you a challenge to something you cannot overcome, so the Eibishter, when you're in a challenge and you're thinking evil about yourself, God is basically telling you, my friend, dig a little deeper. Go a little bit more further into yourself. And you're going to find strength within yourself, because everything is within there. Your Yetzer Hara, your animalistic soul is telling you, no, I'm a loser, I'm negative, I'll never get out of this. No, it's not true. That's 100% not true. The Eibishter giving you this challenge because you have deeper capabilities within you. The Alter Rebbe continues. Even if a person is innocent from gravest sins of his youth. Hachamurim. Every person should take to heart what the Zohar says. Be a master of accounts. Every person needs to be a cheshbon hanefesh. He has to become a spiritual accountant. Just like you have a physical accountant, a guy who goes through every number and makes sure that every number is there. So too, we need to be master of accountants. We have to be. What does that mean? We all need to make a stock of our souls. From all the thoughts and speech what have passed, from the day I was born until today, was all these thoughts for the sake of holiness, or mitzad tuma, or were they for some of my thoughts were for the side of impurity? Heaven save us. Don't think that machshavas zaris means evil thoughts. Machshavas zaris means thoughts that are not for godliness, thoughts that have no purpose. So who doesn't think things that have no purpose? There's vanity and stupidity. We all do that. So if you make a cheshbon and you sit down, you say, maybe I haven't never sinned, but I'm not so holy. My mind wandered many times. That were not for God, not for God's will, or not for the service of God. Says that Peirush. This is the meaning of Sitra Achra. Sitra Achra, when you say the other side, it doesn't mean that somebody did something negative. Sitra Achra again means the other side, the opposite of Kedusha. Anything that's the opposite of Kedusha doesn't mean that something negative happened, or something terrible happened, or something evil happened. No, it just means that it's not holy. That's it. So Sitra Achra means that I've done something that's unholy. Doing something that's unholy connects yourself to Sitra Achra, and connects yourself to the other side. That automatically, whether it's good or bad, doesn't make a difference that this thought is not an evil thought. You've given a chayis, you've given a life force by that thought to the other side, as Keniska Le'el in chapter 6. So the Alter Rebbe says it's important to think about this because we all need to be an accountant of the soul. Umudar zois, and it's known. And it's known that as long as you think holy things, you become a chariot for the chambers of holiness. Where these thoughts come from that chamber. So the longer as you think spiritual things and godly things and purposeful things, you connect yourself to holy things, and that's what happens. And so to the opposite. Nasa, when you think negative things, or you think those stupid things, or you think things that have nothing to do with God. Not stupid, it's not negative, just has no purpose to it. It's vanities, nothing special. If I do that, Nasa Merkava, at that moment, my mind became a chariot to Meya, to impurity. You created a space. You created a space for impurity, and that gives life force to the chambers of impurity. For there comes forth all thoughts, negative thoughts. That's klippa. And so too with dibur, if I speak vanity, or maisa, God forbid, if I do things that have nothing to do with God, just totally things that have nothing to do with a purpose. And that's why it says, in all your ways you shall know God. All your things you do in life should be for the sake of heaven. Is that possible? Yes. You have to want to do everything for the sake of heaven. So therefore, a person has to evaluate this and think about it. The problem is, it might be a scary number. And therefore, the Abishah gave us the tshuva, which wipes it off, maybe certain amounts of these kind of negative or wasteful time. Let him further consider his dreams. In order to humble his spirit, for one may learn more about himself from his dreams than from his waking conscious thoughts. Sheheim hevel v'rois ruach. For the most part, they are vanity and the affliction of the spirit. Usually you dream what you think about in a day, sometimes more in a graphical way, because in the daytime you think these negative things, but it's more controlled by your mind. And then when I go to sleep, my mind is much more open, and therefore I can, whatever I thought, I can have really graphical and harsh, as we call, nightmares. So I got to think about that too. Means that basically that my soul, that's what we say, that a person, we don't have healthy lives because we don't sleep well. We're restless when we sleep. And what does it mean? Because our neshama is not at peace. The neshama is not at peace. The body is not at peace, and we're restless. We got to bring peace to it. As it says, who ascends the mountain of the Lord? He who has clean hands and a pure heart. And because my body is not so clean, and it's worried, and it has anxieties, and it has all these things, because I'm not so pure, my soul is restless, because I can't get a good night's sleep. And if I can't get a good night's sleep, so my soul doesn't go so easy back to heaven to get rejuvenate itself. and therefore this is a tough thing, and that's why it's you look in your Kishma Shalamita when you say Shema, it says that when you go to sleep at night, King Solomon surrounded his bed with swords. It's a spiritual thing because he wanted to have a peaceful night. So we also want a peaceful night. We need to surround with the Shema. We protect ourselves. With the Kishma Shalamita, with the evening Shema, we protect ourselves. And we protect our bodies and we protect our souls. We give our body peace and we give our souls peace. And that's why it's important to read the Shema. We forgive everybody and we ask God forgiveness for our sins, because we want to have a restful night. We want a peaceful night. Not only for our body to have a restful night so that we can have a rejuvenated body, but also our soul. So when we say that the Eibishter brought out my soul, that it went up to heaven, a part of it, and it got rejuvenated in its source. So this is something we also need to think about, and that's why the sages instituted the evening Shema, so that we would pray to God. And like I said, you'll see in that prayers we forgive everybody in this world, and we ask God forgiveness. So we should have a peaceful sleep. And I shouldn't have, so to say, the demons of the night, the worries of the night, the nightmares of my dreams. And they, for those originate in the evil side, come and attach themselves to him and inform him on his dreams of mundane affairs, and sometimes and show him false things and torment him of what he's done during the day, and so on. As I stated in the Zohar in Vayikra, see there as it discussed. So we thus see from the Zohar that one may evaluate himself by studying the contents of his dreams. Thereby he can humble his spirit, even if he finds himself free of sin. In this way, he may crush the Sitra Achra within him. And that's what we want to do, to crush the Sitra Achra, to humble myself. So I'm not so great, but I need humility to be able to break the other side, the Sitra Achra, so that I can reveal my essence of my neshama, I can reveal my soul. Because as we all know, Kedusha only rests on a place that is with his bittul, his humility. And over here, the Alter Rebbe is giving us a capability to be humble. So either by making a calculation of my negative things that I've done, or a calculation of my negative thoughts that I've done, or a calculation of my negative dreams that I have. And all this is because I'm connected to Sitra Achra, I'm connected, I have an animalistic soul, which automatically gives me connection to the other side and impurity. And therefore I need to break this impurity. I need to reveal my godly soul and eradicate impurity from the world, for myself. That finishes the Tanya of the day. Today is the 30th day of the month, which starts in chapter 145 to 150. And you would have finished the whole Tillim at this present time, 145 to 150. 150 is the last chapter of Tillim. And you would have said the Tanya of the day. Tonight is Shabbos, self-understood. Tomorrow is Rosh Chodesh. Tomorrow is Shabbos Shkolim, Shabbos HaChodesh. In every synagogue, they take out 3 Torahs tomorrow. It's a very special day. And it's a very special time. Today is Rosh Chodesh, Adar, Mishenichnas Abba, Adar, Ma'ibim V'Simcha. When the month of Adar comes in the aspect of joy, let us all be happy and joyful. And Simcha Peiris Kol Agdarim, and Simcha breaks all boundaries. God bless you. Have a great Shabbos. Have a great Chodesh. And
you too, Rabbi. Thank you so much.
Maybe a Chodesh Agula, maybe a Chodesh of redemption.
Yeah.
Have a good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.